Hello and welcome to my Saber art piece tutorial-ish kind of thing. As you can see, I'm kind of starting off with making the head here. I'm kind of just trying to figure out what I kind of want as a shape. I'm kind of going in a side view right now. I had an idea, but as you see later, I kind of changed that as I go around. This piece is actually a little bit dated. It's a few weeks old, and honestly, I've changed a lot of my process and details since then. So honestly, it's a bit dated, but a lot of the same principles apply to my newer stuff. I just do a lot more dithering here and there, a little bit more anti-aliasing. I try to get a little bit more depth in the face, and I'm a lot better at anatomy now. Not like a super amount, but I've had a few reps in since then this time, so it's a lot of my new pieces come out a little bit better. But anyways, I gave up on kind of that 3/4 face. I didn't really like it where it was going, so I was like, you know what, let's just do a forward piece, because I've done an art piece before. You can check out I think it's in one of my first videos where I show the progress of my art over time. I'm redoing a Saber piece, and as you can see here, I'm trying to figure out the eyebrows. I'm really bad at that. I've kind of gotten into the move. This is kind of like a first addition to how I do my eyebrows and my eyes. Now I actually kind of figured out a way that I really like and I enjoy, and I kind of have a more consistent way of doing things now. It doesn't take me forever to kind of get everything kind of locked and loaded in here. Actually change a lot of the ways. I don't go from light to dark anymore. I go dark to light on my eyebrows, and the eyes in the middle, I like to kind of shade it a little bit closer to kind of the colors that I shade the big round eye to, so it kind of looks a little bit more put together. But that's just for later. Now I'm kind of creating the hair. I'm kind of figuring out where the shadow's kind of going, and I'm adding the back piece there, and just kind of adding some shade where I think things are. I'm adding that top piece there to really show that she's kind of looking a little bit more forward. Like you can kind of see the top of her head a little bit more there. So she's kind of looking down just slightly, making the kind of the back here just simple shapes, circle, and I will update that later. I'm just kind of going down and adding a little bit of light. I do this a lot differently now too. I don't really like doing the lines, like the little circles of light anymore. I kind of like doing like a large kind of almost a triangular shape, starting from a large triangle on the top right and going to the left. You'll see that maybe in a future video. But yeah, so I kind of got the hair where I like it. It's a lot easier to do it when it's front facing, because you can use the symmetry tool. And basically this is not really 1/2 of the face, because I like to go in and add some different detail and just kind of mix things up. But it's a lot easier. You can almost take the reflection of half the face and flip it over and it'd be the same. So it's a lot less work to do instead of doing like a side view or anything like that. But now I'm setting up my anatomy I talked about earlier. This is going to be about 7 heads. She's going to be a little bit taller. I find for me doing this for a while now, I like something around 6 1/3 is usually really nice for me. I don't really like drawing super tall characters, but if I have a taller character or something more average, then it's more of like a 7 1/4 for me now. I see here, one of the big mistakes I made here is like I put the hips way too high. I drew lines connecting kind of like the pelvis area right here, and like those are way too high. The legs started, like, as you can see, it's not even, because the legs need to be 1/2 the body length, but because I drew those hips so high, now it's more like the body is like just a little bit less than half, and the legs are a little bit more, so it's kind of uneven, not realistic. But for some characters this could work out, like Near Automata, the 2B character there, she has very long legs and a smaller torso, so this would work for someone like that. And also, like, since at this moment I'm not great at kind of figuring out anatomy, like I'm still not amazing, but like I definitely could do a lot better than this now. But it's great, clothing's amazing to hide all that. I just need the feet and kind of just a degree of where things are. and to know kind of where the legs are. I made my shoulder joints and all that, and I'm kind of just doing a rough draft right here, what I think the character is going to look like. I would have like, whenever you do a piece, always have like 2 or 3 references on the side, just kind of always cross-referencing things, or even if it's not like this isn't a super original piece. Of course, it's my own take of things, it's my own thing, but like this character's already made before, so I have all the references in the world to use, and I should use, which I do. A bunch of different angles just to kind of see how things kind of look. It's really nice, and I do suggest always using references. I used to not, and everything would come out really bad, so this definitely helps. But here I'm just kind of making a little bit of shininess on the armor, just adding things slowly. My process is really just starting with the head, making the whole body, making things somewhat look right, and then from there, before, like here, this is a little bit dated. I usually don't draw the hands before until like the very end for some reason, but now I bring the hands out with everything else. Arms and stuff is really hard when you're first starting out, because they're a little bit tricky. I find like videos online are super helpful sometimes, but really your arm length is basically the length from the shoulder joint to a little bit higher than the knee. So around that length, and you're gonna be looking fine. And knowing that half of the length of that is gonna be your elbow joint. So when you do that, just kind of keep those rules in mind, and then it's pretty simple to go from there and kind of make something. But before that, I didn't really know and understand it, so I just kind of I would just kind of make everything else and then YOLO the arms. Like here, like you see, I'm really struggling. I'm trying to have her kind of hold a sword front facing, but like it's hard to do that with basic shapes, and getting like changing that depth of field is really hard for me right now, because I'm not very great at pixel art right now. So, and I haven't had a lot of practice, but that's something that I highly suggest kind of learning and going, is just being able to make shapes, like a cylinder or something, for instance, for like the arms. Like that's really what it is, a cylinder, and be able to see a cylinder at different angles, like that really helps. Like doing that practice will help a lot with being able to make the arms to kind of go wherever you want. I've done a little bit of practice here and there on my off time, and it's slowly getting better. We'll improve with every piece. But here I'm making the armor just kind of shine a little bit. I'm not really getting, like, honestly, like the angles aren't great on this. Like I kind of want a sharpness in the middle. If I got that, not really. I'm not really sure too much. It's not bad though. I really like, this is the first time I really tried doing the folds in the armor, and I thought that it looked really good, especially the folds of the front. Like, clothing is really hard to do, especially starting out. Figuring out how to do folds and stuff. There's a lot of different ways to do it, and I'm kind of finding my own way. I like to do like a dark line into like a smaller like a shade under, and then a shade under usually kind of pops everything out. But you can also do things by just showing depth, by making clothing look from behind. Just make that super dark and then highlight the light areas, and you can make things appear like they're rippled without even having to do like lines and things like that. You can just shade it in naturally. It's kind of depends on your approach, but anyways, that's kind of just how I like to do things, at least for now. That's usually how I do it. I add a little bit of both techniques in here and there, but now I'm making the sword. I'm not very great with weapons. I try my best. It's a little bit tough though for me, especially like getting all the shines and stuff like that, like armor shines and metal shines. Like I should kind of figure that out a little bit more with time, hopefully. Like as you can see here again, my arms, saved it to the very end because I just didn't understand arms. See, I'm just putting it just straight forward, where like, there you go. See right here, it's like I'm not following the rules of going half and half with the elbow joints, but really all I needed to do here was just make half the arms come out from the left and right, and then bring it in with the other half, and it'd be good. I made the gauntlets here and just kind of started the background. I had forgot to record this part, so please forgive me. But really all I did was just make a green kind of background, like a hilly area, and then you just use the spray tool, kind of go wild there, and just just kind of making like dark areas and light areas. Hopefully next time I'll be able to show you how I did this. It's a really simple way to just kind of make grass and make things look like there's darkness in certain areas and light, and it looks nice on the eye. Here I'm trying to make kind of a shine for the sword, but it's like, I'm like, if I do that, then there's a problem. There's the lighting in the background. I have to change all the lighting. Because there's a light coming in front of me now at the bottom instead of from the top, so then none of this makes sense. And the shine should be all the way at the bottom, so I just say, no, I'm going to delete that. But here I'm just doing some fine tunes. Just kind of getting everything kind of set how I like. But yeah, this was basically just a quick way of doing things. Hopefully you can get something from this. It takes time, it takes a lot of practice to kind of get to where you want to be, but as long as you try every day, I'm sure you'll be able to improve over time. I sure have. And I gotta start uploading a little bit more. I'm way ahead of this, but hopefully the next video is gonna be a banger. But anyways, I really appreciate you guys coming to check out my video. Please check out my Twitter. That's where I post all my new stuff. But yeah, this is my Saber piece. I worked pretty hard on it. Not sure what's next, but yeah, check out my Twitter, check out my YouTube. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great one.